Welcome back to our next episode on Category. By names Namasime Titus, a teacher of biology and chemistry. And today we are simply looking on tips on attempting biology items. Today we are simply going to understand what exactly is examined, what is being examined in our biology. In biology you have competencies, and we all understand that competencies are simply a set of skills and knowledge which a learner will have to know. And in this case, we have the competencies examine this biology. We examine your understanding of biology, which is given as you. And we also examine your application of the knowledge of biology. Having learned biology, did you really understand the knowledge of biology? And can you really apply the knowledge of biology in the external society apart from only in school? So, in this case, on every item you attempt, that item has a part where you demonstrate your understanding of biology and where you demonstrate your application of the knowledge of biology. And under application or understanding, there is a learner being able to understand the knowledge of biology by simply listening, which we give as UA. And there is a learner who is able to understand the knowledge of biology by also being able to explain it in detail, which is given as UE. Each part, yes, we have a question or an item which may require you demonstrate your understanding of biology by simply listing. Those items are there. We have items which may require you to just list, mention, state, or give. Those ones may just require you to list. But we have items which are asking you to explain, describe, account for. Those items will require you to give your knowledge of biology by understanding by explaining. You have to explain in details. I'll give you an example which we shall talk about. And there's also a learner going to the application part. Mostly the part which requires you to give your demonstration of biology by understanding tends to come in part A or part B. And then the other last part tends to talk about application of biology. And you can apply biology by simply listing. There are questions which may require you to list. But most times on application part, we require a learner to apply biology by explaining. We are going to have a sample item, and the sample item, I'll use the UNEB item 7, which was simply saying, Chandiru, the UNEB item says, Chandiru, a good sports lady, and her husband, who is a smoker, live near a swamp. As time went on, she developed poor appetite and was found to be HIV positive, having heart problems and respiratory diseases, and frequently suffers from malaria. Chandiru observed that her level of performance had greatly declined and she could not understand the cause. Now here the task says, explain why Chandiru's level of performance in sports had declined. Explain why. You have to use your knowledge of biology to explain why her level of performance had declined. In that part, a learner is going to demonstrate the knowledge of biology by understanding. And it's a part where a learner will either just list or will understand by listing or understand by explaining. But check on the question. The question says, explain why. This part requires you to demonstrate your knowledge of understanding of biology by explaining. And in this case, I've given you a sample response. A learner may have HIV weaken her immune system, making her body more vulnerable to infections and slowing recovery from injuries and illness. In this case, the learner is first of all mentioning the problem she has. The problem is HIV. What did HIV do? HIV weakened her immune system. Yes, you have said HIV weakened her immune system, and so what? It makes her body more vulnerable to infections and slowing down recovery. This learner will be marked as a learner who has demonstrated understanding of biology by explaining. But there's a learner who can be able to identify, yes, they see the problem is HIV, and what did HIV do? Weaken her immune system. Yes, this problem was listed to you by the item, and you are saying HIV weakened her immune system. How is it related to the sports she's doing? You have to go ahead telling us how HIV affected her activity, her possibilities in the sports. That's where a learner has to give this, and the learner who already stops here will be marked, yes, you'll be right, but you'll be given understanding by listing. And in that case, understanding by listing is the lowest level. Every point you give as understanding by listing is so being totaled up to just as one. You end up with only one. But a learner who is able to give understanding by explaining, they tend to go around carrying what? 2. And we have a grading scale which normally check how many of these did the learner get. Also, on the next part, which the learner is going to demonstrate application of biology, knowledge of biology by either listing or explaining. That's the part which was saying, advise Chanduru on how she can manage her health condition. In this case, you're providing advice. Having learned biology, how are you applying biology in the society you're back in? You find someone is having HIV. What advice are you giving that person? And why are you giving that advice? You give a certain solution and also show that person how that solution is going to help that person. In this case, we have a sample response. One of them, we saw the person was having HIV. This person who has HIV, what are you advising the person to do? We have the person, Chandru should take antiretroviral drugs. The learner may stop there, and the learner is right. But give the reason behind the person taking the antiretroviral drugs. In this case, the person taking ARV, as prescribed by the doctor, it will enable this person to reduce the viral load, the number of HIV viruses in her body, to strengthen her immune system. This learner has applied biology, shows you that the really capable of applying biology by explaining. They are telling you the solution and then giving you the reason behind that solution. That learner has demonstrated the competence of applying biology by explaining. But a learner can also come up and say, take antiretroviral drugs. Much as you may add as prescribed by the doctor, why is this person taking it? So this learner is not wrong. This learner is right, but has applied biology by simply listing. And I told you, listing is the lowest level that you can be assessed at. And every point you give as listed, it will always sum up to only one score. So learners are always advised items which require to explain, describe, advise. Those items require a learner to always give their point by explaining it properly. And then the other side which requires just a learner to just mention, list, there you just list, and nothing will be wrong with that. So in summary, we have all observed that our biology is not hard, but it's with the learners. It's you, the learners back there, who make the biology hard. But in this scenario I've given you, biology is not hard. It's an easily doable subject by you simply following what you have to do. Just know that once you enter the biology, an exam of biology, know 2 things. Demonstrate your understanding of biology and also demonstrate your application of the knowledge of biology. And having passed biology well, there are so many careers you'll end up with. So just put in the right efforts, understand the biology well, and be able to apply it. Not only stop doing the biology in class, go outside the society and show how this learning of biology from class can be applied in the society. In doing that, it will help you to enhance your understanding of biology and even help you to attempt items in a better way. Go to agriculture fields, check where biology is, check where biology is applied. Go to hospitals, learn some better skills from there. Check where biology is and check where biology is applied. And back in the exam, things will be very easy. Thank you.